Hello everyone and welcome to the Diecast. I am Russell-san and I play Aquans, and with me I have...
Fishman, and I play Jonas.
When last we left off, our two young apprentice wizards had just had an encounter with some kobolds that had developed a new weapon while they were out searching for materials for their mentor Ren. In the process, they learned some disturbing news about this weapon having some form of soporific effect. And Ren suggested that our party inform the aldermen and the residents of Lakeside who needed to be warned of this new development on the part of the main threat to them on the plateau. And that is where we are going to pick up in Lakeside.
On the way to Lakeside, can I gather some herbs for putting together another healing potion, the one I've used up?
Yes. That would...
Is that good?
You can make that... It's mostly searching, so we'll say investigation.
Oh, that's a 22. I think I have enough.
Oh wow! You gain you find in the trip back,
Yep.
you gather enough herbs to save up to make 5 doses of healing potion.
Oh, what a good day this is starting out to be.
You rolled high, so it was 1d4 plus 1 on that.
Wow. So you said 5?
5.
Excellent. Because currently we have none.
No, you did use your one healing potion in the last adventure.
Yep. All to that silly little gel.
Yes, the thing that Ren said, quote, was harmless.
Yep. Kobolds were a problem. Giant ogre skeleton, not a problem. Little blob of jelly this big.
Nearly kills you.
Yeah. Well, that's the game for you. Alright, cool. So
So you managed to do that on the way back. So
yeah.
are we heading straight to the aldermans to warn him?
What time of day are we talking at this point? Is it still early in the morning, or...
Fairly early.
I think I want to head to Mom's first.
Okay.
Oh, for those of you who don't know yet, I was born in this village. I was raised here, and my mother is the local apothecary. She has a shop and brews small healing potions and salves and ointments and poultices and general cure-alls for the village, and that's how I got my knowledge of traipsing through the woods, survival, and gathering herbs, and of course my skill with making alchemy. So I should probably check in with her, because it has been 2 days that I've been gone now.
Probably about a day.
In a bit at least. Well, she's probably a little worried, so
Yeah.
I think I should check in and let her know what's going on.
Yeah. So you've probably been gone about a day and a half at this point, which isn't unusual.
No, because I do a fair amount of traipsing in the woods, and of course the training with Ren and whatnot does sometimes take longer.
Yep.
But I'll be a good son, and I'll go check in.
Alright, so you head to one of the houses in the market square, which your parents own.
That one.
Yep.
Hey, I know where I live. It's the house by the big trees. A 2-something or 7-something. A 717, that's what it turns out to be.
Was it 86 or 68? Maybe just...
House. I'll put down house by the big tree.
Anyway.
So yeah, I don't have to knock or anything. I just go in.
Yeah, so you enter. They're just finishing up their breakfast at the moment, your parents. Your mother, Isabeau, is there, and your father, Sam, as well. They're finishing. They're happy to see both of us. Sam also looks like he's getting all of his gardening supplies. He maintains the herb garden that your mother uses for most of her poultices and remedies.
I'll give them both a nice big hug.
Yep.
I think I also will inform Mom a bit about the new cobalt development with their new secret weapon.
Alright, so...
We left that vial
with Ren.
with Ren, though, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So you don't have it with you.
I'm gonna ask Mom if she's familiar with the gels that Ren had mentioned. Has she run into them before?
She's vaguely aware of them. She's heard of them, mostly, but she's never encountered one. But she does hear their gelatinous nature has certain properties to that, and she is able to. She's able to piece it together once you've start telling her, and
they're really quite harmless.
Well, she's never encountered one, so she doesn't know if they're dangerous or not.
I let her know what my encounters with them, and more importantly, the kobolds seem to be. It was hard to tell. They're putting them in a pot and boiling them up, and adding various things to them, and then taking the concoction, putting it in vials, and using slings to fire them at people, and they seem to have a numbing effect. So this is something that we're kind of, well, Ren, she knows about Ren. Yep. Ren and we were kind of concerned, but we want to let you know. So
she also knows about Leah.
Oh, she knows about Leah?
Yep.
I suppose, yeah. She spent her lifetime out here, too. And I'm sure Leah's been here a lot longer than us. All right. So I'm going to fill her out on that. And then we're going to go and talk to the alderman.
Yes, she reaffirms that it's probably a good idea to inform the alderman. She also points out that there's something else strange has happened this morning, about an hour ago, or so ago, she says.
What?
A stranger came to the village.
What?
A stranger on horseback came into the village.
And there isn't like a big crowd around this guy?
He's not here anymore.
He drove through the village on his horse and then disappeared?
He was dressed in red armor.
Yeah.
Yep. And he was on a black horse.
Yeah.
Yep. And he had a long spear with him.
Right.
And he rode through the town and asked a few members of the village. Says he was searching for his compatriot and was asking for the location of ruins he believed that was on the plateau.
So he actually interacted with people. So this wasn't just some weird illusion or anything. It was actually an individual interacting with people, left hoof prints and all that sort of stuff.
Yes.
So I'm not thinking Bree at this point.
You are not thinking Bree. This is well beyond the scope of minor illusion.
All right.
And then he, after he just asked around and didn't get the answers he was looking for, he headed off eastward.
This didn't create mass hysteria?
Well, there's been people talking about it all morning, but it is just getting to that point now.
Like, where did he come from? No one asked any of these questions?
A lot of people have been doing it. It's still early in the morning. It was mostly the farmers that were having this conversation with him because they were the ones who were up early.
All right. Well, that is news.
Yes.
Did you see him yourself?
No, but Sam, she says, indicating her father, mentioned that he talked to one of the she just mentions someone who owns the plot of land just basically opposite the river.
Right.
So we're next to the cattle farms.
Okay.
And he talked. He was the first one to spoke to him.
All right. This is definitely something we got to check into because that's one thing we don't get here as visitors. All right. Head to the alderman first, just to get that out of the way.
There wasn't something else you wanted to do?
Oh yes. I needed to pick up a healer's kit. Sorry. Yes.
We can pick it up at the general store if you want instead.
Oh, does Mom have one?
She has the one that she uses. But healer... huh?
Okay. Okay.
Healers...
She probably doesn't want to sell hers.
No. Well, she could because she could just go get another one herself, but...
Well, that's kind of pointless,
Yeah,
so I'll go to the general store.
Yep.
And pick up I'll go into the store first off.
Yep, so we're going to head to the store, which is in the market square.
And...
I suppose technically it's more of just an open-air market more than a
well, yeah,
little store.
It's this place here, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, you're able to find
Sorry. The markets are usually a great place
Together.
for gossip.
for gossip. Yes. So-
There must be a whole pile going on this morning.
So, what do you want to do first? Do you want to look for the? Do you want to try and find a healer's kit to buy, or do you want to listen in for gossip?
Well, as I'm approaching, heading towards the market, what do I see?
There's a few people out and about. It's still relatively early. Some people, people who do not farm in this village, often will sometimes sleep in because they're often out drinking the night before. But there's still about half a dozen people talking, apart from the actual proprietors of the market.
Okay. And what's the general hubbub about?
All right. Well, there's a few ways you can go about this. Are you just going to be listening in? Are you going to be conversing with people? Because
Well, I'm going to listen as I walk up to see if there's anything that they're talking about that interests me, for starters.
okay. So roll a perception check then.
All right, this is without my owl. Because,
Without your owl because you haven't summoned it.
Yeah. Well, I must have some wax in my ears or something. 7.
7. It's a lot of, from this distance as we approach, it's a lot of hushed whispering and just general conversation and just casual conversations. You can't listen in enough to find anything of interest.
All right. So I know basically everybody here because it's a small village. I grew up here, but is there anyone there that I actually know well? Someone by name?
Not really, no.
All right. I'm gonna just go and buy a healer's kit and keep my ears open
Okay.
and see if anything catches my rather groggy perceptions at this point in time.
Alright, well, you know that a healer's kit, the standard price for that is 5 gold, which is why...
Yes, that is a very large chunk of my funds.
We can afford it, though. We've...
Yep, I will take 5 off,
Okay.
and I'll add a healer's kit.
To your equipment.
Alright, so I'll add that in.
Yep.
That will make us, a little bit better for taking care of wounds.
Yes, but but speaking of gossip, that's probably going to become a subject of some...
Buying a healer's kit?
Well, the fact that you have the gold for that. You also did not haggle at all.
Yes, that is bad, I know. Yes. Alright, generating gossip. Cool.
Okay. So, did you want to ask around?
Yes, I'm going to approach one of the likely groups of people that are talking about stuff and say, hey, how's it going, guys?
Okay, this is going to be persuasion then.
Another of my talents. Well, that's not too bad. 12 minus 1, 11.
11. Alright, this wasn't going to be a hard check. But yes, you did have to roll. Okay, yep, there's, you come up upon, the good news, it seems to be a man and 2 women speaking. The man you recognize as actually being the farmer that your mother mentioned talking to this knight, for lack of a better descriptive term. And says, and the 3 of them seem to be in the process of talking about it, and they wave to you. They recognize that. He says, "Hello, Jonas. Out to spend some money, I see."
Just a little bit of savings I had built up over the last little while. Gathering herbs for my mother.
Does business good then?
Good enough. I just want to, follow in her footsteps.
Good lad, he says.
More importantly, I hear there's news. I came into town and there was a stranger. That is something that I don't remember ever happening.
He says, looking over at me, no, not in quite a few decades.
Besides my friend, yes.
He says, yes, but this was completely different. He says, that was just, an old hermit coming up with an infant. He says, this was like it says a proper warrior, a knight almost, like straight out of the old legends. It says armored and armed on horseback.
How did a knight come up the plateau on horseback? Did the horse have wings or something? This is astounding me.
No, it didn't have wings. It was just... It looked like an ordinary horse, black as midnight, but apart from that... He says...
Did you see where it came from?
He rode in from the east, or on the side of the village.
Yeah.
It says, came right up to me while I was in the process of getting ready... Just getting ready to plow the fields. He says... Came right to me and said, "Good day, sir. I am looking for news of a friend of mine. He says he would be dressed in an armor similar to mine, right on a horse, and with a." He says, "I heard tell he was on this plateau." He says, and he mentioned that he might be near some ruins found eastward. I said I couldn't help him, and he rode off into town. I assume to ask other people.
That is crazy. Does anyone else here corroborate this guy's story? They smell booze on his breath?
No, the farmers usually aren't the ones who are out drinking late. Because they do have to get up early.
All right.
But there's some general consensus like that. Now that there's clear this conversation.
I want to do an insight check on this guy.
You can roll an insight check.
A natural 20.
Yep, he's being completely candid and honest. He's telling you this story that he's having a hard time believing it actually happened, but he's telling the truth as far as you can. And you're very certain with that roll.
Yeah. Okay. Kind of a waste of money, but
if that wasn't enough, there are other people who are currently saying they're hearing things. Another person says, "Yes," it says, and he mentions that another farmer. It says, another woman says, "I heard that he went and talked to Ander at the inn." It says, and another man says, "Yeah, and I also heard," says that that Father Gregor wanted to come out and see this, but I rode off by then.
All right. Let's pop into the inn, and I'm going to talk to Ander.
Okay, you're going to go to the inn, talk to Ander.
Yep.
Okay.
And when I go up, that's a farming village. There's lots of animals around here. But as I go up to the inn, I'm going to check the grounds in front of the inn, because obviously if he rode up on horseback, a shod horse would leave some interesting footprints.
Yep.
I'm going to look for those.
Okay, you're going to roll another perception check. You can roll this one with advantage, because that'll help.
I also have survival. That counts in this?
Perception or survival is your choice. You can use either of those.
I'll go for the one with a bigger number. So that'll be 18.
18, okay. There's some definite horse tracks, which are a little unusual. There are no domesticated horses in the village.
Yes, okay. Cool.
There's cattle, but we don't really have any horses.
All right.
So, make of that what you will. There's definite tracks.
While I go in and talk to Ander, could you do something?
What's that?
I'm going to pull you aside just for a second. There's no one within earshot right now. I'm going to lower my voice anyway.
There's people in the inn. There's no one really outside.
Okay, I'm going to say, just go around the corner, get your familiar out, because your familiar has
keen sense of smell,
advantage with perception of smell, right? Mm-hmm. And just have her sniff around these footprints, just to get the scent, because horse scent is probably something new for her.
Okay.
And I'm going to go in and talk to Ander while you're doing that.
Yeah, I'm going to roll that, and I'll tell you how it goes when you come back up.
All right.
Okay. All right.
All right, so
you head into the inn.
Yep, go talk to Ander.
Okay, yep. It seems to be a busy morning at the inn. Lots of every seat has people at it. There's only a few stools at the bar unoccupied, and everyone seems to be really busy. You see Ander, you see Cora and Perrin all around. You don't see Bree, though.
That's
And
unusual.
Ander looks over and says, Jonas, have you seen Bree? He says,
Oh, sorry, I haven't. I was actually just coming in to talk to you, but our
you
visitor.
see him just go, and gestures around all this. It's like, we could really use a help on the one. It says, like, the entire town's, he says, like, being stirred up because of this news of a stranger.
Well, if I see her, I'll let you know, and I won't bother anymore because obviously he's being worked over.
Yeah, no, he's
run off his feet.
Andrew usually there's one of the members of the Tea Leaf family that is behind the counter. All three of them are running around dealing with things. You can see that there's this. This is probably causing quite the stir.
Just as an aside to the DM here for a second.
Yeah.
You know that little spell that you're thinking of making, that rune of locating?
Yes?
You should give Bree a bracelet or something and put it on there just so we can find her.
So that's a bit of foreshadowing, apparently.
Oh, sorry. Anyway, yes. I'll head back out and find you.
Yeah, okay.
And?
My cat wasn't able to pick up a trail or anything. Like, there's lots of smells around here, but it wasn't a very good roll, even with advantage.
Oh, alrighty. I suggest we go and speak to the alderman now.
Yes, the thing that we came here to do in the first place.
Exactly.
Though, admittedly, we probably could count on others to tell them at this one. We have told people, but yes, you want to go tell the alderman directly?
Not about the horsemen, though that'll probably come up in the conversation. Talking about the kobolds.
Yeah.
We should probably inform him of that, because that is a definite threat to the village.
Okay. So, we head to the alderman's.
Yes. And is he overrun this morning with lots of people asking questions?
There is a crowd of people in front of the alderman's. The alderman is not there. You see Varus, who is his archivist and librarian, effectively, / aide and steward, basically.
Jack of all trades, yes.
And he's just he seems to be trying to reassure people that it says, now people, please remain calm. I know this is an unusual event. It says, but nevertheless, it says the alderman is currently speaking. It says with Father Gregor and Mustafa, the commander of the watch. It says they will. It says, see to this in short order. It says, this is the second strange thing that's happened recently. It says, second, there's been all sorts of strange things happening over town. It says, first a murder, now a strange night, and now all sorts of unusual things are happening all over town.
Good hysteria. I love the common folk. I'm going to try and circumnavigate all these people and get up close and have a word in his ear for a sec if it's possible.
Okay, so you want to...
he knows what
yeah, it's not too difficult.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. Varus recognizes you, and you see he lets out a sigh of relief almost when he sees us. He knows that we're not here to stir up trouble, really.
I hate to be a bearer of bad news, but unfortunately I think I am. I definitely need to see the alderman, if possible. Believe it or not, a new and completely unrelated topic to what you're currently having to deal with, but definitely not something I want to spread to the general populace. I'm going to say this relatively
quietly. Well, Varus is an elf, so it's not hard for him to hear you. He whispers to you and says, I'm going to have to stay out here and keep this little group calm. He says, he mentions, try the back door in the library. He says, there's
okay.
Yeah. So.
I will swing around to the back door.
So we swing around that way. The back door is not exactly secret, but the villagers never go there. So they mostly want to people who officially want to meet the alderman go to the front door and knock, obviously, and wait to be seen.
True enough.
Yeah.
Is it locked?
No, it's not locked.
Okay. I will open the door
Okay.
and quietly enter.
Okay, so we currently enter. This is the archive we were in before. So.
Yep. And quietly make my way to the door that leads into the alderman's.
Okay, well, the door from the archive leads into the main hall, which then leads into the alderman's study.
Okay. I want to listen. Do I hear them discussing? Is there an argument in process?
It's a little difficult to hear over the argument and process outside, which is louder. This is more of just a general discussion.
Alright, so I'm going to go up to the alderman's door then.
Yep.
And I can listen there.
Okay, make a perception check. Because you are trying to hear a quiet conversation over a loud ruckus outside.
Unsuccessfully. Rolled a 2.
Yeah, so I think that brings it to a 4.
Alrighty, yes. I'm just going to open the door.
Yeah. Okay, you open the door. And you see basically the 3 main effective figures of authority in Lakeside. The Alderman Ivor, Father Gregor of the Cult of Mithras, and Mustafa, the Watch Commander. And they all seem surprised to see us, but all of them also seem a little relieved. You can oh, it's this. Good. It's not someone. Varus hasn't lost control of the mob outside.
Not yet. How does Father Gregor look upon us showing up?
Actually, he looks like a little relieved to see us as well. It's like oh, good. It's like again, they're all. It's like this is they're used to us not being related to this current problem. So.
I said, yes, that is definitely something worth investigating. I mean, how would someone get a large horse, let alone armored themselves, up the cliff wall? I mean, that's impressive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're
apparently harmless. Just came in, talked, and left.
Just one moment. There is going to be. Okay. No. Both of them, you can see them both trying to think hard about this, and is it I'm meaning Ivor and Gregor. Both of them are basically trying to think things through at the moment and try and puzzle that out. No, they don't seem to be getting anywhere. You hear Gregor say, "I vaguely remember something in the church records." No, he says, "I'll have to go and look more thoroughly." And Mustafa says, "Well," it says, it says, "I look more kindly on this visitor than the previous one off the plateau we had." It says, "He didn't kill anyone." It says, "As far as I'm concerned, this is all just a bunch of undue concern about some strange happenings, which is probably just someone playing pranks."
Interesting and very complicated prank.
Yeah, he's just referring. I think he's referring to some of the strange things happening around town. People were talking.
Oh, the whole thing is a pile. Yeah, maybe some mischievous god is at work here.
Do you say that out loud?
Sure, why not?
Well, that gets a glare from Gregor, but nothing else.
Yeah. So is this meeting kind of breaking up?
It looks like it's not really going anywhere.
Just in general, during a lull in conversation, I want to say to Ivor that I have a little bit of news about some completely unrelated topic I'd like to relay to you once you guys are done.
All right. Ivor looks around and says, to the two, says, "I don't think we're really going to be getting much further on this. This seems mostly some undue concern more than anything else. What have you learned?"
So are they leaving?
Are they? Or are you waiting for Gregor and Mustafa to step out?
Yes. Unless that's not going to happen, and then I will just pass on the information. I'm not going to stay here all day. Does it look like they're heading out? If they were, I'm going to wait. If they're not, I will just go about and say what I need to say.
Mustafa is able to read the room quite well, and says, "Well, it says I think I'd best return to my duties. The watch is going to be slightly more busy, I think, dealing with the general
concerns of the people." Yes.
Says, the general populace at the moment not being pleased over this. He says, and he turns to, and he says, "Yes." And you see Ivor turns and says, "Yes, thank you, Mustafa." He says, "Father Gregor, I understand you were planning on looking through church records. You said something about this. Reminded you of something you read in there." You see, Gregor at this point is very clearly aware that, well, they both are, that you're trying to get rid of them. But upon that, it says, "Yes, I think my efforts will be best spent there." It says, "I don't see anything really of note coming of this."
Hey.
They both exit in short order. Ivor says, "Well, Jonas, you now have my undivided attention."
I didn't really mean it to happen like that, but I thought they were just leaving anyway. But I have some unfortunate news. We were up north and just on the edge of Cobalt territory a little over a day ago, and the Cobalt seemed to be developing a new weapon. And I thought it was best I'd bring it to your attention because if they are agitated and getting a little bit more militant and have developed a new weapon, there's not too much time, I suspect, before they're going to start thinking about this town.
You see his expression go from surprise that we were up near where the kobolds were to genuine shock about this news. What sort of weapon is this? Have they?
Well, they seem to be taking a certain couple of creatures and herbs and whatnot and making a toxin that they put in bottles and sling at their targets. And it seems to have a numbing effect, which makes the target, well, not useless, but definitely not at their best, and obviously therefore easy to overcome. And if they learn how to mass produce this, I can't see it being too long before they decide to expand their territory.
You see him say, "It never rains but it pours," more to himself than anyone else, but he says this is a far graver news than just some stranger. He says,
"Yeah, I didn't mean for the other two to have to leave, but this is something I don't want, or I mean, well, it's up to you, I guess, but it's probably something you don't want to have in the general populace if they're that excited about a guy on horseback."
He says, "No, that is a wise precaution." He says, "I will have to inform both of them, though." He says, "Mustafa will need to know how to arm the watch." He says, "I'll also have to have a word with Gregor and your mother about finding some countermeasure to this toxin." He says,
Yeah. It shouldn't be a difficult thing to do, but again, it depends upon how much of this they're producing and, again, how militant they are.
He says, "Well, this is not the best news," he says, "but he says, for the moment, I think I'll have to quickly deal with the crisis at hand before moving on to that." He says, standing up. He says, "I'm going to go assist Mustafa and reassuring the people of Lakeside." He says, "Thank you for bringing this information to my attention."
Well, I think we might be of further aid in the sense that I think Aquans and I are going to see if we can follow this horse and rider to the east and see if we can figure out what they're up to.
He says, "Very well." He says, "Try not to put yourselves in any danger." He says,
Okay. We'll do our best.
So he heads out of his study, and I assume we're going to be heading out the back way we came in.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea to avoid.
So I think we're going to be heading up back the back side of the library we came in.
We'll come out here. We'll swing around this side, avoid the mob that's here. head across the bridge, and then as we head this way, I assume this rider used this road.
Yes.
Well, it's a gravel path. I am going to see if I can pick up the trail for horse and rider.
All right.
Once we're across the bridge, let me know. And I want to see if anyone's paying attention at all, if there's anyone near us. If there isn't, I am going to get my owl out.
All right. So you're just looking around to see if there's anyone around at the moment.
Yes.
Okay. You don't see anyone nearby. That doesn't. You can make a perception check if you want to actually.
Well, once I get to, roughly about here,
Okay.
I'm going to have my owl appear in this tree.
Okay. Yep.
It should be stealthy enough at that point.
Yep.
That won't really make any difference.
Okay. So you're going to be making a perception check with your owl senses.
Yes, I want my owl to pick up the trail, so I'm going to have her fly along the road heading east out of town.
Okay.
And that would be an 18.
All right. It's easy enough for your owl to spot the tracks. So
Right.
we're going to follow her out.
Yes.
Okay.
Can she see... Well, this is a real long shot. Can she see the rider? Is there anybody or anything in that direction that is unusual?
Your owl doesn't see anyone or anything matching that description in her
Okay.
line of sight.
We'll just head that way.
Yep. All right. So as we're heading out of town, our thoughts on this night, as everyone seems to be calling them, following your owl, who is following this trail for us. We see a plume of smoke rising into the air in the eastern horizon. This is not the first time that we've noticed this. A few people have noticed that this plume of smoke does rise in the east from time to time.
And always in the same spot?
Always in the same spot, and obvious people sometimes talk about what possibly is off the plateau, because smoke usually means fire, and fire is usually a sign of civilization of some sort.
I'm gonna, just as an aside, I'm gonna have my owl spiral up higher into the air and have a look from a better vantage point. And I'm just gonna have a quick look through her eyes,
Okay? What are you looking for?
just to see if I can discern anything besides this just being a plume of smoke off in the distance.
It's pretty far. We can notice it. You can see it much clearer through your owl's eyes, but it's on the opposite side of a forested area.
Right. So, no point in rolling, in other words?
No, I'm just building off your last perception check. It's perfectly fine.
Right,
It's pretty far away.
that's something for another day.
Yes.
Let's I'll have her come back down to a reasonable height
Okay.
and follow the horse's trail.
All right.
Because we're pretty much at the edge of the village now.
Yes,
anyway.
we are exiting the village. So I want you to roll.
Do you want me to switch over to the other map?
Not yet.
What would you like?
I want you to roll a survival check with advantage because you have your owls. Just want to see how well you can follow this trail as we're leaving the village and heading to rougher terrain.
That would be a 22.
Oh yes, no problem. So we are walking for about an hour.
Mm-hmm.
You might want to.
Oh, now you want the map changed.
Yeah, so we're walking about an hour along the eastern side of the plateau.
Yeah, so we came out of the village,
We're passing the farmland.
past the farmland, and now we're heading up this way?
Yep, into the area where the hills are.
Up here, or... Well, this is going to take 3 or 4 hours, so we're after an hour, my mouse is acting up. We're right about here, I guess, right?
Yep, as we're following the trail.
Yep.
And we come to a clearing near a clearing in the woods near a large hill.
Okay.
This is the next.
You want the other graphic now?
That was what I wanted in the first place.
Oh, okay. Oh,
It's fine.
well, there we go.
Yeah. And this is as far as you can tell the trail goes.
So this is where the trail ends? Where does it go? Like, it just ends? Or does it end at something?
It's at this point that the trail becomes a little too hard to follow with some of the, as you can see, some of the foliage and fallen trees.
All right. I guess we should... I'm going to look a little bit more carefully. I'm going to investigate this area.
Okay.
See if I can search and find possibly where this trail... if it just ends, or if it, if he walks on harder rock, I can try and figure out how this trail ended. Did he just disappear, or whatever?
Okay, roll investigation check.
Oh, that's a pair of 16s plus 6.
Okay.
22.
Uh,
I'm wasting all my good rolls here.
as far as you can tell, investigating the area, the trail does seem to end in this clearing, basically.
But, how does the trail end? This is like, I see footprints and then all of a sudden it just stops? Or do I find that the ground has gotten harder and the trail got like less distinct and then couldn't find it?
It approaches this rocky section of the hill up ahead, as you see.
So the trail comes up through here, approaches this large rock, and then
That's it.
stops.
It stops.
Just ends.
It just ends, yes.
And I see nothing unusual about this large rock area.
Well, with your 22 investigation check, you are able, mostly through, less through vision and more through just feeling along the door, you just start clearing off some, for lack of a better term, almost, I suppose, dust,
Okay.
rock or dirt. And you start to realize that,
Lichens and moss.
yeah, basically, just various things that are covering it, and you notice that there is the seam, looks like the seam of a door, possibly, in this rock face.
So I think that this horse and rider came up to this door and entered it?
That's as far as you can gather from this trail.
Okay, I'm going to search around the area and see if on the door itself and see what mechanism there is to open this up.
Okay, there is some writing on the door that you do notice as you're passing your hand over and clearing it off.
Oh, is that a language I recognize?
What languages do you know?
Oh, a whole pile. Common and halfway.
No, it is not in either of those, and it's not in any of the languages I know either.
Okay. We have, well, one obvious opportunity here, I guess. You can ritual cast, comprehend languages, and we can see what this says.
Yep, I can take the 10 minutes I need to ritual cast comprehend languages.
All right, and in that time, I'll definitely keep an eye out, and so will my owl, for
Okay.
any wolves or anything else that might come by.
Okay. So
All right.
10 minutes goes by uninterrupted, and then I walk over to the door with the writing on it, and this is what I translate it as. Deep beneath the earth we sleep, to hold back the darkness which eats. Until the people of Lyria weep, our doors are sealed to all outsiders, save those who know our pledge.
Okay. And we don't know the pledge, do we? Wow. Deep earth we sleep. Well, that guy wasn't terribly sleepy. I'm going to examine right around the base of this door a little bit more. I mean, if he went in here, this door had to have shifted some way. Do I see any disturbance in the leaf litter, moss, lichens, mushrooms, whatever is at the very base, like right around down here, where if the door moved, it might interfere with that sort of stuff. Do I see anything there at all?
Make a perception check.
That'll be a 17.
It does look like it has been briefly disturbed. You're not entirely sure if it was disturbed by the door opening or by something else, though.
So, I don't notice any latch or anything on this, so
There doesn't seem...
right now, I'm thinking at this moment that it might be sealed by magic.
You can...
But that would mean...
You can attempt an Arcana...
Why not?
Sorry?
Why not just ritual cast a detect magic on this?
Do you want me to break my current...
Well...
Actually, comprehend languages is not concentration. So
No?
I can't have them both going, yes.
Alright. Anyway, we're certain that, like, going over this, there's no other writing on this, right?
There's no other writing, and you're fairly certain from how we searched it, you don't see any obvious mechanisms for opening this door.
And there's also not like a carved clue in a tree somewhere nearby. Like, this is the pledge. That's what you need to say. No?
No.
I won't worry about it.
And there's nothing really carved onto the door except the writing itself.
Okay. So that means we need you to see... Oh, I'm fairly certain it's magic. Let's just double check to be sure.
I'm going to... I'll take the 10 minutes I need to cast Detect Magic. While you're doing that, can you make me an Arcana check?
Oops. Only one. Oh, here go the bad numbers. Yeah, I have Arcana. That is a 10 altogether.
Ooh, that's very low.
Oh, I rolled a 4.
There's something about the way that description was written or worded that strikes you as familiar, but you can't quite place your finger on it with that roll.
Can you read it to me again, please?
Deep beneath the earth we sleep, to hold back the darkness which eats, until the people of Lyria weep. Our doors are sealed to all outsiders, save those who know our pledge.
Hey, while you're doing your Arcana check...
My Detect Magic, yep.
Okay, yeah, sorry. While you're doing your Detect Magic, I'm going to take a little bit of risk with my familiar here.
Okay.
I can have my familiar pop into existence, even though I can't see where it's coming into existence, as long as I think there is a spot for it there, right?
Yes, within 30 feet, I believe.
Okay. So I'm going to go up to the door. I assume this is solid. Actually, is it solid? The solid rock door?
Yes.
I disbelieve the door.
Yes, it's a solid door. We've both been... you've been cleaning off, and we've both been touching it. We've both been examining it. It's a solid door.
All right. Okay. I am going to pop my owl out of existence.
Okay.
And then I'm going to square myself up to this door. Because I assume there's a gap on the other side of it. And I think 10 feet is enough. 10 feet directly ahead of me, I'm going to have my owl come back into existence.
Okay.
And then she still exists. Didn't form into solid rock.
You do not feel your familiar... There's destruction from this. So.
Alright. So I'm going to close my eyes, focus my perceptions through hers. And what do I see?
Well, your owl has dark vision, so she
Yep.
can see, which is the good news. She can see the door.
Yep.
It's quite solid. And looking further in, she can basically, it's like she's on a staircase that's leading down.
Right. Are there any handles, levers, or other such devices for opening doors in here?
And make a perception check.
Hopefully something a bird can attack.
Yes, it's like it has to be something an owl can operate.
That'll be a 22.
Very good roll. It is such a shame that there is no such a device.
Well, there's nothing in here that my owl can see that could operate.
No, it's just a salt.
Is there anything at all? Like, is there a lever there?
There is no lever, no.
There's no buttons, no nothing.
No. So there's some other mechanism at work here.
So, magic.
Yes.
Alright.
Alright.
Well, I got some time. I'm gonna have my owl hop down the stairs a little ways. I want to see what's in
Okay,
here.
so you want to have your owl, okay, go down the stairs?
Staying within 120 feet of me so I can just pop right.
Okay. Well, your owl comes to a relatively large chamber. It's about 60 feet wide by about 50 feet long.
Right.
So the entire room is well within your owl's dark vision. And
Okay.
the best way to describe this is it's seen better days. Rubble of both
Okay.
stone structures and wooden furniture line this room.
Alright.
Looks like this was a place that people would have lived in, probably. This looks like it might have been an entry chamber at some point.
Alright.
But it's falling apart, more or less.
Okay, there wouldn't happen to be like a plaque on one wall with a motto in some language.
That your owl can read?
No, just do I recognize any writing in here at all?
You don't really see much writing. There are a number of doors out of this room. There are two that catch your eye. One in the north wall, which is a set of double doors.
Yeah.
And there's one on the north end of the east wall. There was a third door out of this room in opposite that eastern one on the west wall, but it looks like it's caved in.
Okay. So I don't see any writing in here then.
No, you don't really see anything.
No.
So we'll say at this point that I finished my ritual.
Alright, I'll pop my owl back out of existence.
Okay.
Come back to myself and give you a description of what's on the other side.
Alright, so I listened to that while looking over this door a second time, now with detect magic. And there is an aura of magic about the door, and particularly the letters and the writing there.
Okay. So we have a magic door, which we already thought was magical, so there's no way of opening it from the other side, so there has to be a way from opening it on this side. There wasn't anything on the other side that could be operated. I mean, how did they get out? The same way they get in, I assume. Have some sort of phrase you need to say. Sort of the speak, friend, and enter concept.
Quite possibly. I say this. The magic on this door does seem to be rooted in transmutation.
Yeah, interesting. The door transforms.
Can
you read that one more time, please?
All right. Deep beneath the earth we sleep, to hold back the darkness which eats, until the people of Lyria weep. Our doors are sealed to all outsiders, save those who know our pledge.
Does that make any sense to you? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Looking over this, not quite sure what the answer is, but I'm pretty sure. I say looking at the writing. I'm pretty sure this is an attempt to render the arcane language in. Sorry.
The spell?
I'm pretty sure this is basically the arcane writing rendered in a language that I don't know.
A spell. In other words.
Or at least the writing does seem to be magical in nature. You're probably correct that we probably do have to say something to get these doors to open.
Yes. But I don't know what it is. That's the problem.
Make a intelligence check.
Before I do that, this door is magical.
Yes.
I'm going to ritual cast Identify.
You're going to cast Identify. Okay.
I'm going to ritual cast Identify and see if I can actually discern what opens this door.
So that's a grand total of 31 minutes we've been spending outside this door.
We're country bumpkins.
All right.
Time means nothing.
No. Okay, so my Detect Magic will run its course by then, but I'll still have Comprehend Languages.
Yeah.
All right. So you're going to you identify. So as per the Identify spell, you learn any magical properties or spells that are on the object you're touching.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
You don't. This is basically a modified version of the Arcane Lock spell.
All right.
So these doors are magically held shut until usually there's some way of undoing that. Usually it's a password of some sort.
Yeah. So, short of waiting for 4 levels and coming back with Dispel Magic, there must be another way of opening it. But I don't discern what that keyword is.
No, that isn't part of what Identify does, I'm afraid. So, you can make that intelligence check now if you want.
Straight intelligence will be a 15.
Okay. Thinking on everything you've learned here between Identify and Detect Magic and Comprehend Languages, all the information we've been able to glean, you're thinking back to your training and you're thinking about lots of different ways the arcane tongue has been rendered over the years in other languages. And it's usually, these sorts of things are usually a single word, a short phrase, and they usually have a few meanings. And you come back to what was said in that little phrase, to hold back the darkness which eats, which sticks out as the only phrase that really fits with, could be a pledge, you think. So you're thinking to hold back, to contain, to seal. And at this point that you recognize, you think, the language. You don't know the wording, but you do recall that you're pretty sure this is the Celestial script language being used here.
Okay.
And you're pretty sure you can remember what the word to contain or to seal or to hold is in the Celestial language.
I don't know the Celestial language.
No, but you think you can recall what that word is, though. Because it's effectively a magical word. It's a word in the arcane tongue being written in the Celestial script.
Okay. So that word.
The word you remember is Arda.
Arda?
Arda. Arrda when rendered in common.
Alright. I will stand in front of the door and in a clear voice say Arda.
Alright. You see all the lettering light up and the 2 doors open. Right, and
there you go.
And you see the stairs leading down.
And it's dark.
It is dark, yes. The only light source that we can see at the moment is the sunlight coming in through the opening.
Alright, so we are going to need some light. I will take up the little cap I put on the end of my staff, and I'll cast the light cantrip on it.
And I will repeat the same on my staff.
Okay.
In we go.
Here we go. Miles down, been down here, so I know the first
So,
3 steps.
basically, you have the same description. It looks the same as you saw through Owl's eyes. Except now you're seeing it in color. Because dark vision's
it's lit.
black and white.
Yeah. Yeah. Using the rods, not the cones of your eyes.
Alright, so you have the...
Does the door automatically close behind us?
No, it doesn't.
Look at it and I say, Arda. Okay, cool.
Okay, so you're leaving it closed?
Yes. Oh, anybody else running down in here? We're not that far from the village. And there's been a lot of hubbub about, stuff. They may decide to form a mob and go search for this guy. Who knows?
Yep. Alright.
May drink themselves some courage at some point.
Possibly. That might take a while. We have been here. We have been out here almost 2 hours now.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyway.
Alright, so now the only light sources are cantrips.
Yes. But that's pretty bright light,
Yeah.
so...
Bright light within 20 feet and dim light in further 20 feet. So we can see most of the room.
So head to the bottom of the stairs and have a look.
There is rubble and detritus everywhere in this room. Did you say you wanted to
Did you say
go?
detritus was here? I like detritus.
It's an actual word too.
I know.
So you said you wanted to search the room? Is that what you said?
Well, now that I'm actually here at the bottom and I can see with my own eyes, you said there's a door broken down to the east?
Yes, the west. The west wall has a door that's caved in. The east wall has a door, and the north side of the room also has a set of double doors.
Right. Well, in that case, just going to enter the room a little bit, and I want to look into that room with the door that's, caved in.
It's
Do I see anything in that direction?
it's a wall of solid rock, basically, just rubble.
Oh, so that it just literally
It's
caved in
yes.
there. Ah, okay, I gotcha. All right, so
You don't see yourself being able to move that much rock.
No, I don't think I want to try. Like, cause more of a cave-in. I will examine this room. Investigate.
Yep, you can do so with my advantage. Or my help.
Oh! That was probably fairly ineffective. Total of a 14.
Okay, as you're searching through the room,
Yeah.
you basically just you find a partially intact wooden box.
Partially intact.
Partially intact. It had something fall on it at some point.
Right.
And it's stuck under there or something. You're gonna have to try and wedge it out though.
How big is this rock?
It's probably about close to the size of your foot.
Oh, that's small. Okay, I'll lift up the rock.
So you lift up the rock.
And,
It has crushed some of the contents, you're pretty sure, when it fell.
okay. What is in the box?
Well, you hear the sound of glass moving inside.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna try and gently open whatever might be left of the lid, or probably have a dagger. I will try and remove any splinters and see if there's anything intact in here.
Half the box has been crushed, so there technically is. If you just you don't have to maneuver very much. The lid is probably not going to be manageable to open.
Okay, I'll try and pry open whatever I can of this.
Okay, there is a bunch of broken glass, some stoppers in there, and you're pretty sure there's an intact bottle.
An intact bottle? Is there anything in the bottle?
Yep, there's liquid in there. You recognize this is from probably a healing potion, just based on the looks of it.
Cool.
Getting it out might be a problem without
further damage to it. Is it wedged in there pretty tight?
No, there's a bunch of broken glass fragments on top of it.
Oh, well, I'll just cast Mage Hand and pull it out, put it on the table, and I'll use my dagger to knock anything off of it.
Okay. That's fine. Once you get it out, it's fine. There isn't much of a table to put it down on, though.
Oh, alright. Put it on the floor then, and then I'll wipe it off, and then just put it in my pouch.
Okay. So, alright.
Alright.
You can write down that you have a healing potion.
I'll identify that later, just to be sure.
Okay.
If that's all I find in here, there's no indications of anything written down or...
Not in here. There's things that probably would have been standards or possibly insignias or tapestries and tables and other things, but it's all gone to either rot or ruin.
Alright. The single door that's probably the twin of the one on the west, I'll go to the east door and have a look at that.
Alright. So you want to go to the east door.
Yes.
Okay. So you... so you go to open it. Roll a strength check for me for a moment.
Another brilliant score I have. Oh, I rolled a 19.
So you struggle against it a little bit, and it opens, and then as you open the door, you hear one of the hinges on the door give way.
Oh, so this is seriously rusted in place.
Yes. It was giving you you're like, okay, I could have opened that with less force. I think you may have used a bit too much there. You have a feeling this door is not going to close properly again.
I won't even bother trying.
Okay. You see a straight corridor, which stretches ahead about 45 feet, and there are 4 doors in here, 2 along each wall.
All right, hold on a sec. Get myself something to keep track of all this with. Alright, so... Okay, we got a corridor heading east.
It's about 45 feet long, and there are 4 doors.
Yep.
2 on the north side and 2 on the south side. The corridor terminates in a dead end.
Okay. We're coming to the first pair of doors. And I'll have a look at the one heading south.
The south? Okay. Alright. The door is in similar condition to the one you just opened, but but you don't have to, but you know this time not to apply as much force, so you open it easily enough.
Yeah.
This looks like it would have been a dormitory at one point. There are beds in here, which are slightly more intact than everything else that you've seen so far.
Yep. Is there an exit to this door? Oh, sorry, this room?
Nope, it's just a 15-foot square room with 4 beds in it.
Alright. Are there foot lockers?
No.
So there's just beds.
There's beds. Presumably anyone keeping their stuff here would have had something else to put it in.
Oh, sometimes people keep stuff under mattresses. I'll just do a quick toss of the room.
Okay. So you're going to roll an investigation check then?
Yep. That would be a 23. Wow. Okay. I'm like good on like stuff that doesn't matter.
3 of the beds have nothing, but one of them does. Not in the mattress, but actually wedged up underneath the actual bed itself. You have to dig it out. There's a rather worn journal. Well, you're pretty sure what it is based on it. It's got a leather binding, and you open up, there's paper and leaves of parchment and into pages.
Yep.
And it's rather worn, but some of the sections can be read.
Is it in a language that I understand?
It seems to be written in common. Yep. So.
I will carefully go to near the last couple of entries, just to see what it says near the end.
Okay, so the first entry you find says, I've been bedridden for a few days now, ever since I was spat at by that lizard thing that patrols the lower floors. I'm growing concerned that its saliva contains some sort of venom. The entry trails off a little bit and is illegible at that point, before picking up on the next page. One of the researchers who sleeps in the second northern room prepared some magical medicine for me. After drinking it, I began to feel better almost immediately. It's taken a few days to regain my full strength, but now that I have recovered, I should try and complete my mission as soon as possible. Even if I have not been found out, this place is rather dangerous, with the strange creatures that prowl it. In case I fail, I will leave this journal here in order to aid any other agents who follow. That entry also trails off there.
Trails off in the sense that in mid word or mid.
No, it's just that page is the rest of that page is illegible.
Okay.
And you leaf through it.
So he refers to himself as an agent.
Yep. After leafing through the last few pages, you find one more entry.
Yep.
It starts with, I have failed. I have been confined to this room of the facility. In brackets, it says, there is no other place to confine me. As I lie here, I barely have the strength to write these words. Laboratory, the remainder of this is only broken few words that you can read. Laboratory door, color puzzle, balance against opposites.
Alright.
As you're just leafing through... Sorry?
Hopefully that'll come in
As
handy.
you're leafing through the journal, you got a 23, you said, on your investigation check? Okay.
Yep.
As you find a section of the leather which has actually come loose. And you open it up, and you feel something fall out and hit the floor. It sounds metallic.
What is it?
It is a necklace. Basically, it's got a long leather cord, and the amulet on the end of it is modeled after, looks like a sword that it's been stylized that it's been broken.
Possibly the organization this gentleman was a agent of? Do I recognize this?
No, you do not.
So, well, our little backwater village probably doesn't have much in the way of lore for that stuff that's off the plateau. All right. Back out of this room.
Okay.
Check the north door.
Okay. The north room is identical. It is another dormitory, but this one is in a state of disrepair, unlike the last one. The last one was more intact.
Right. I'll do a quick toss of the room anyway. Just because. 19.
19. You don't really find anything of use. You find some things that might have been papers at some point that someone was keeping. They look like they might have been research documents, but they're illegible. They've got so many holes and they're just falling apart.
Okay. Well, to break the pattern, I want to go to the next room alone, but I want to go to the north one. Because it sounds like someone was making something for this guy, and I think for some reason this room seemed to be possibly it.
Yep. All right. So we enter the second door.
The second door on the north.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you going to investigate this room? It's another dormitory.
Oh yeah, this one seems more promising. 13.
Okay. As you're looking around, you're looking for something specific this time. You do find a small, almost like medicine chest, what it looks like.
Okay.
And you find that you think, okay, this is what I'm looking for. And the latch is very rusted, and you have to break it to get it open, I'm afraid. But you do open it, and a lot of it is gone bad. But there is a wooden cylinder which you unscrew, and it has it looks like a powdered herb mixture.
Right.
You can make a medicine check if you want to try and identify it.
Just give me a second. All right, medicine check. That's wisdom, right?
Yes.
15.
15. Okay. You recognize these herbs as being gathered from the plateau itself. You know that these herbs are good for treating poison and diseases.
So this would be the stuff that I've already gathered myself anyway.
There seems to be something. There is something about it. There's something else mixed in as well. It's like, and you remember that they said that there was almost like a magical medicine that this person made to cure them of whatever was afflicting them. And you that intrigues you. You think there might be worth in researching this further.
I will definitely keep that.
You're pretty sure you're estimating in the contents of this container, there's enough for 3 doses of this.
All right. And I will definitely keep that and figure that out another time. Miles will check the south door while we're here.
Okay. This door is in the worst state of all of them. You basically, as you try and open it, it opens. It swings wildly, hits the wall, and you hear a loud cracking noise, and you just literally watch as the door falls into the room.
So I've done a Merry and Pippin thing. Made a loud noise in a quiet dungeon. All right.
This room is an even worse state than the first northern wall room. This one is.
Okay. Do I hear anything now that I made all that noise?
No, you don't hear anything. You do smell some rot in this room. Clearly, it's like whatever was in here has gone bad. I'm pretty sure. There's lots of decomposition. You also do find 2 skeletons in this room.
Oh. I'm gonna cast Mage Hand, and I'm gonna have Mage Hand just make sure they're not animate skeletons.
Nope, they don't seem to be moving. Apart when you prod them.
Just quick rummage with the hand, see if there's anything.
Okay.
Do I notice anything of value in here? Just standing in the doorway and doing this?
You don't really find anything in here. You're pretty sure that the skeletons, one's a tall humanoid and the other one's shorter. You think is like, okay, so either they had a child here or they had a halfling or a gnome or a dwarf. You're pretty sure it's the other one.
All right.
But you can't tell beyond that.
All right. I will just leave that at that and head back to the main room.
Okay.
And go up to the set of double doors.
Okay.
Is there anything special about these double doors?
There's a keyhole in them.
Oh. Haven't found a key. Is it locked? Again, Mage Hand.
It is locked.
So I searched fairly well in those rooms. Just didn't find anything. Well, I am going to try and pick the lock with my dagger.
Okay.
Stranger things have happened. 13.
This is beyond you're not sure if it's beyond your skill or it's beyond the use of the tools the tool you're currently using here. No.
Yeah, could be both.
You're fairly certain that you searched this room thoroughly. And you didn't find a key.
None
None
of
of
the
the
dormitories.
dormitories. So the only option really left to you, you think, is that corridor itself.
The corridor we walked down?
We didn't go all the way to the end. The doors, we went to all the doors.
Like I said, it
It
dead
does end
ended.
in a dead end, yes.
All right. What's this door made of?
It's made of wood and it's been reinforced with iron.
So hard to try to burn through this door.
You could try.
It'll take a fair amount of effort.
You could try.
Well, I think I'm gonna take your hint first and go back and check that corridor.
Okay.
Search the corridor itself.
Okay. So we're going to investigate this room.
The
The corridor.
corridor.
It is technically a room.
23.
Sorry? 23. Alright, so as you're going along, feeling the walls, investigating everything, you come to the very end where there is a pair of sconces with torches in them. The torches are not lit, obviously, and they've probably not been used in some time. But as you're touching one of the torches, it actually just snaps. So the wood is rotten. But the actual sconces, as you're investigating them, you find that one of them turns. And you see a brick slide in and down, revealing a compartment.
What was in there?
A small wooden box, which is intact.
Oh. All right, I pull it out.
Okay, take out the box. It's about a 5 foot square.
5 foot square.
Oh, sorry, no, sorry, five
Five
inches. Sorry, yes,
All right.
sorry about that.
This seems rather well hidden. I'm gonna check for traps on this box. I find none.
What'd you roll?
3
You find none.
plus a
So
find 2.
that's a total of 9. So yeah.
Checking for traps. So I get is it investigation. Oh. All right. Open
Okay,
the box
it
if I
opens.
can.
There is a small silver key inside.
All right.
It looks like it would fit that door, those double doors you found.
That's awfully well hidden key.
Security.
All right, go back to the double doors. And insert the key in the lock.
All right, and you're going to turn it.
Yes.
Okay. All right. You hear the lock click.
Do I hear any other clicks?
No.
Okay. Pull the key out of the lock. Use mage hand to open the door.
Okay, which one? There's 2 of them.
The one on
Okay,
the right.
so you open it.
Yep.
It squeaks, but this door seems to be better intact than all the other ones you've seen so far.
All right.
Okay. It feels humid on the other side of this door, and there's a smell that is associated with you associate with algae and mildew almost. There's a warm, moist environment on the other side of this door. You think?
All right. Is there like a flagon or cup or rock or some small object in this room that we're currently in?
Many rocks.
I'm going to pick one up and seeing how I don't have to concentrate. to
Nope,
keep
light is not concentration.
light going. I'm going to cast light on the rock and I'm going to toss it into this room.
So, as you throw the rock, light illuminates a staircase going down again.
Yep.
It bounces. So, the stairs go down about 15 feet. So the rock line's near the base of the stairs at the bottom, and it illuminates, you think, a very large room.
I'm going to stop and I'm going to listen.
Okay, well, you hear that echo.
Mm-hmm.
Make a perception check.
Use my owl for this. 16.
16, you said?
Yep.
Okay. You hear the sound, what sounds like water moving in the distance.
Like babbling rook, waterfalls.
Something moving in
dripping.
water.
Oh, something like that gentleman was talking about those things that caused him his health issues.
You think there is something alive down here?
Does your cat have dark vision?
Yes. Even though Dungeons and Dragons does not say, it says that cats do not have dark vision, cats have night vision.
Well, this is not exactly the best place for an owl to try and fly. Would you mind sending your cat down there to have a look?
Sure. I can also send her down there to have a smell.
Yep. True. There's fair amounts of smell.
Okay, so I summon Alice. She's going to head...
Actually, one other thing. We have not seen any indication
of the
horse came in here.
No, you have not.
Alright. Alright.
Alright, so my cat is going to go down to basically... You see her just go down to where the rock is, basically. To the base of the stairs. Yep. And she's going to have a look and listen and a smell around. Okay, that's better. Alright, she looks around. Alright, I relate to you that it's a large room. There's no... the floor is a little damp. The room is slightly more intact than the one above, if you think. That down here looks more structurally sound. I relate to you.
Yeah.
I don't hear much in the way of anything else at the moment. After what you initially picked up. There's a strong smell of algae and other marine-based plants and other things associated with humidity and just a marine environment that has been left to run its course. And there's also definitely the smell of some living creature down here.
But your cat is not familiar with whatever is causing this.
No, it just
animal.
It smells lots of aquatic and water associated smells.
Well, most importantly, there's no immediate threat.
Nothing in the immediate room now.
Okay, so let's head down to the bottom of the stairs and have a look with our own eyes. And I'll cancel the spell on that rock.
Okay, so you're going to knock out the light spell on the rock, but keep the one on your staff.
Yes, and then have a look around.
So this is another large chamber that opens up more as we enter. The north wall has two paths that branch off from it. One going along the west into a corridor, and one going along the east into another corridor. However, what catches your attention is clearly this is an area where two statues once stood. I say once stood because one has been reduced to rubble. Though the other one looks fairly familiar. It resembles
like
a knight on horseback with a spear.
Okay. And he's looking for his brother.
It's just rearing up, and it has its spear raised above it. It's a rather dramatic pose, but...
Okay. But he's currently not moving.
It's a statue.
Sure it is. I am going to cautiously approach the statue and see if there's any writing on the shield or on the base of the statue or any indication that this may have been the knight that came into the village.
Okay.
First off, is it the right color?
It's a
black horse.
It's a stone statue made of looks like marble. So.
Oh, so no color.
Just.
Maybe it gets color when it's animated. I'll have a look anyway.
Okay. Alright, you look around it. It looks like a statue of a knight on a horseback. As you look at the base, there does look like to be more of that celestial script inscribed along the base.
Is your comprehend language still going?
Yes.
What does it say?
It's I say it's more or less an excerpt of what was written on the door. It's mostly just it's basically just continuously saying, again, this is the arcane language being rendered in Celestial. So
yeah.
I'm pretty sure this is possibly meant to have been or still be a spell of some sort.
Same spell?
I do not know. I don't know. It's similar writing. A few of the same words show up.
I am going to say Arda.
Okay. How loud do you say that?
Not too loud because there may be somebody creeping and crawling around in water nearby. But I'm going to say it in a conversational tone.
You do hear a sound. It sounds like the door opening from above.
From back
We leave
there?
the door open to this room, right? So it's just going up a stairway.
Oh, no, that's 2 stairways back.
Yes, it's going up a stairway, a room, and then another stairway. So yes, apparently your voice carried enough to hear that. Or it's sensitive enough to hear it.
Alright, let's say it again.
But that's the only change. The only other thing about this statue...
That was
Sorry?
funny. That's funny.
The only other change about this statue... the only difference from this statue and the rest of the stone is clean. There's no mildew, no moss, no algae, nothing growing on it.
Alright, this is a long shot, but I'm thinking if this statue was animated and went for a stroll, it would have some of the countryside on its hooves.
Well, the horse is rearing up,
down
so you
near the
can
wall.
take a look at the front 2 hooves at least.
And do I see any little bits of dirt underneath there, or
Nothing.
nothing?
And like I said, there was another statue here at some point, but it's rubble.
Okay. And enough rubble to account for another statue roughly the same size.
You think
as
all
this
the
one?
parts are there, they're just in pieces.
Alright. So in the north, we have 2 corridors, one heading east and
Well,
one
the north
heading
is a
west.
wall, and there are the statues there, and then as you look down east and west, you can see the corridors, yes.
Right. So
And that is...
I think I'll head east.
You think you're going to head east?
Yeah. Well, I'll have a look down east first.
Okay. The corridor slants down slightly, and you notice that the moisture and the moss and algae and mildew is a bit stronger here. It's it's thicker surface. You wouldn't want to be running across this.
It's
A
slippery.
little bit, yes. Not taking your time, but
But if we had to run away from something, we might
yes,
be in
you
trouble.
might be in danger of slipping on a stone floor.
Okay. Head back to the statue
You
room.
do get to see a bit of the room beyond that. It opens up into a large chamber. But, large-ish. It's smaller than the one we're currently in. There are some puddles in that room, you think. That's
Okay, I'm gonna look.
that's all you can...
Look west.
West? Okay.
Yeah, see what's west before I pick
Alright,
one
it's
of
got a
these.
similar slope down. It's got a similar condition. Then it comes to a... just about about 10 feet down from along the slope. It evens out. Then it comes to a turn, which starts heading north. That's basically all you can see from the light.
Oh, so it doesn't go
No,
into a room
it seems
then.
to curve and it takes a turn and heads up north.
Alright. The other one ends in a room and there's no doors out of it.
Not that you could see from where you were standing, no. It's a big enough room that you
Alright,
couldn't
let's
see
go
all of it.
back. Alright, let's go back to the slippery slope room and carefully enter the room.
Okay. Make a perception check as we go in.
17.
You hear movement up ahead.
Okay, stop.
It sounded like something possibly exiting a pool of water, and you hear kind of like wet footsteps.
Okay. Back up to the statue room. You're gonna pick up a rock, cast light on it, and toss it as I go to that corridor. I'm gonna toss it down into that room.
Okay, so you toss it into that room.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and make it bounce a fair amount to give it lots of noise and lots of distraction.
Okay, you throw it, hits into the room.
Yep.
It bounces in. It lights up the room.